Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic, hoping well, and I am at an AMC theater. Finally, the AMCs are opening. Today is the first official day of them being reopened, and I am about to go see The New Mutants, which are really more like the old Mutants because this film was supposed to come out around 3 years ago or so. So my expectations of the film are not that high, but I am back at a theater, and obviously it's going to be very interesting to see how many people are actually showing up. So far, the parking lot looks pretty empty, which is about what I expected. Theaters here are only allowed to be at around 40% capacity every time that you buy a ticket. All of the seats around you, in front, behind, and to the left and right of you get blocked out. So they're trying to make social distancing happen. And also you have to be wearing a mask the entire time while you're in the theater, unless of course you are drinking or you are having some popcorn or any food items as you are sitting down. So hopefully things are going to go pretty well. I'm not one that's really nervous about any of this because I think everything's going to be okay, right? I think that will be okay. But anyway, I'm pretty excited just to be back at the theater and just wanted to give you my quick opening thoughts, and maybe I'll try and, if I can, film some of the things going on in there and maybe show the auditorium as well before giving you my initial thoughts and review, of course, of The New Mutants. So I shall see you all in a bit. We're back at the movies, baby. Alright everybody, I just got out of The New Mutants, or really should still be called The Old Mutants, because man oh man, you could just tell as you were watching the 90-minute movie, so very, very short, that this is a film that has gone through a lot of changes, that this is a film that has gone through a lot of different creative minds, because there's just so many random tonal shifts. Most of the film is definitely of the more thriller, horror-esque genre, and there's some really awesome moments throughout, especially some pretty cool uses of CGI that really are pretty terrifying as far as the images go. It's not really jump-scary type horror, but it definitely has that visual style, which I think definitely could have been in better hands, and also with a production company that actually gave a damn about the film and actually wanted to give a good film with these characters, could have done wonderful things with. Like, honestly, there were some really cool moments in here that in a better film I think would have been phenomenal, would have been something that a lot of people might be actually talking about still. But the sad fact remains, you have a cast full of people that for the most part are pretty good. I've always been a big fan of Anya Taylor-Joy. She is just as great in this film as she is in anything else. It would have been really good to have actually found out a little bit more about her backstory, and I would say that is the same for pretty much all the characters, because even though they do give you some little bits of information about where they came from and what they did, they just leave so much out. And again, in this 90-minute film, and obviously the mindset, I believe, was that this was supposed to be the first film in a series of movies, which we obviously know at this point just doesn't seem likely like that's ever going to happen if it took them 3 years just to get this film out after having filmed it so long ago. So we're basically left with a bunch of characters that we know very little about, and what we are given is something that could be intriguing if they were going to explain it later on, but there really don't seem to be plans for them to explain it later on. So you have her in there. Maisie Williams is in there too, from Game of Thrones fame. She also does a pretty good job. And then you have a bunch of other random supporting characters who really aren't that great. You have the one guy from Stranger Things, and he's good, obviously for the role that he had. But there's just a couple others where they're just kind of there, and they aren't really people that I've recognized from anything, and they just are very, very forgettable. And I think that this film overall just kind of fits that category, where there's some really cool elements to it. There's some things that I think will work for a lot of people. There's some things that people will be drawn to. I think that the end, especially, like one of the last lines of the movie, is actually a pretty profound thing, and it's really very much about like growing up and going through those teenage years and how all of us can relate to that. And I think that element to it is actually pretty good. It's just sad because we have that rest of the film, which is just such a hodgepodge of random things and random themes, and of course just random genre tropes, and it doesn't really know exactly what it wants to be. So if I had to give a grade to this film, I'd give it a C+, because there again are some pretty cool things in there visually, some very visually horrifying things. And also, of course, you've got really good performances from Anya Taylor-Joy and from Maisie Williams as well. And just, again, one of those, the character from Stranger Things, I'm forgetting his name right now. For some reason, I want to say, like, Headland, but it probably isn't even that character. But he was pretty good for the most part, too. But, yeah, it's a film that, it exists. I can say that. everybody, the New Mutants actually exists. It is a movie. It is a 90-minute film. It feels like a lot longer of a movie. I was getting very tired towards, 45 minutes in. I was getting sleepy. I was getting a little bit bored with some of the random things they were showing. A lot of things that they never explain, and maybe it's a good thing, and maybe it's a bad thing. It's a film that I think, in all honesty, if you want to go see it, if you want to go back just to the movies in general, I would say, hey, go ahead and check it out. I don't think it's going to be a complete waste of your time or money, but I also can't really give it a huge thumbs up and say, yeah, you need to go see this film. You need to see this in the IMAX. You need to spend all the money. I would say if you're going to spend like $5 on it and you have nothing else to do and you just want to go to a theater, hey, I would say go right ahead and do it. And with that, I guess I'll end with just a little comment on the AMC. So auditorium space was actually, it was filled with probably like 20 to 30 people, which is a lot more than I thought it was going to be for a 6 p.m. showing. Obviously, it is an opening night, and it's the first time the AMC has been open since January. It was interesting walking around because there's these plants and these weeds that have obviously just been growing for the past 6 months, and I'm literally like parked around and seeing them here. So it's interesting how they haven't really taken care of the space all that much, it seems. The movie started about 20 to 25 minutes late, and so obviously, even though they've gotten all this time to get everything ready, they focus so much more on getting the sanitizing stations, the ropes the right way, getting all the shields up and everything, that they kind of left all these other things that I find more important, like making sure the bulb's okay, the sound's okay, and all this other stuff, kind of in the wind. But just so you know, if you're going to an AMC, they are not really double checking to see once you're sat down in the theater whether you're wearing their mask. Basically, as soon as the movie starts and you're in there, they're asking you and they're assuming that you're going to wear the mask. I think some people that will feel more comfortable to wear the mask will, but once you're sitting down, I mean, I had popcorn and drink the whole time. My mask was off the entire movie, even towards 45 minutes left when I was pretty much done with both my drink and also with my popcorn, and there's no one in there checking, and some people will like that, some people won't. Personally, I think it's kind of the way it should be. Trust the people to take care of themselves, and as long as they're cleaning the screens and cleaning the seats between showings, I think that's pretty much the best that we can really expect. But anyway, have you seen New Mutants? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Also, please let me know how your theater experience was. Again, the 20 minutes late was kind of crappy. The popcorn and the concession situation could be a lot better. I mean, if you're going to limit the menu and you're going to do all these restrictions, you might as well make it so that it actually tastes pretty good, because my popcorn did not taste very good at all. But I can also confirm, if you did buy that 2020 popcorn bucket, they're not going to be refilling those, so don't think about bringing those in. The person that I talked to said that they are not doing that since they're not doing refills in general. They probably therefore aren't going to be doing those either. So really hope that they say, once they do have those refills, that they give us an extra year on that, since our year was very much cut short. But with all that being said, let me know your thoughts. I love you guys so very much. Leave the comment below. Smash that like button. It really does help a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to all of my August Patreon and Subscribestar members. Starting on Patreon, Albertus Magnus, animation commentator, Brian P., David Bobrizik, Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Hail Father, Father Damian Cook, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunka Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Carney, Kenneth Cameo, Lady T, Laura Story, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, Tina Bojan, and Tina B., my Valkyrie and Empress of the Universe. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. And also, shout out to my Subscribestar peeps, Stand For, John B., Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, Darkstar 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebadon G. Adams, and ZK Man, and Outpost Dyer. Thank you all so very much for supporting me this month. You guys are freaking awesome. If you want your name shouted out at the end of every single video and live stream, and also if you want to have access to special perks like giveaways and an exclusive podcast that I do with fellow YouTuber John the Flick Pig Flickinger, please check out Patreon, Subscribestar, and YouTube memberships in the links below. You guys are all awesome. I love you to death. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.